Get ready to record.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Brett, and I am a 27-year-old senior Ruby ambassador with Plexus. And this is my sweet friend, the adorable Allie Edmonds. She's 24, and she is a Ruby ambassador. And we decided to do this call for our teams tonight together to kind of brush on the topic of relationship marketing and cold contacting and some tips that we had and kind of our experiences with it and our thoughts. So I'm going to go ahead and share my experience with it, my testimony with it, if you will, and then Allie's going to go ahead and share those, and then we'll share our tips. So I started relationship marketing years and years ago, as the great Celeste Gwynn says she started, 37 years ago with all of this. I've always had good friendships. I've always been active on social media. I've always been a very social butterfly. And I think that that played a pivotal role for me in this relationship marketing business. And when I walked in, I didn't even know that it was relationship marketing. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just wanted my products for cheap, and I knew my cousin wanted to buy off me, so I got the link. That's how I started. So I didn't know, and I've been learning along the way. And I've always been social. Like I said, my network was pretty large, is what I'm getting at going into this. But I didn't want to come off as a salesperson. I really didn't know what I was doing. I just started sharing on Facebook. And what naturally came to me was to go about it as a friend with everybody, to not be a salesperson, to not sound salesy. Of course, there was trial and error with all of that, and that was going really well for me. I did have one phase where I had watched a training video by a famous network marketing professional where he suggested to do what we call cold contact. A lot of people, cold contact, for those who don't know, just really means somebody you've never talked to about Plexus, or maybe somebody you don't even know, just going to them and hitting them, bam, with Plexus. Hey, this is my opportunity. I want you on this journey with me. So I had gone about this a couple of ways. I watched this training video, and there were some people who I didn't take the time to cultivate a relationship with, and I just smacked them with that Plexus stick, and I'm like, honestly, it didn't go over well for me. A lot of these people I was really nervous to reach out to in the first place, and had I taken the time to cultivate some relationships with them, I think it would have gone over a lot better. And I'm just being vulnerable with you guys and candid. There's a couple people that I lost along my journey of hitting them with that cold contact. So I really learned the importance of relationship marketing. I have cold contacted since then, but I put a relationship twist, if you will, on it. I keep the relationship first. I come at them as a friend. So yes, maybe it is a cold contact. Maybe it's somebody I haven't talked to in years, but I don't jump straight in with Plexus anymore. I take time, I cultivate that relationship. And if I do jump straight in with Plexus, it's usually somebody that I already know, or somebody that I've been seeing a lot of their Facebook posts. And I come at it from a very, very genuine approach, rather than the cold, non-personal approach, if you will. So that's been my experience. I definitely prefer relationship marketing, but I do think that there's a balance of intertwining the two.
I just love that. I didn't realize your approach was basically what mine was. Like, I've always had a great network, a very strong network. I grew up in a really small town where everyone kind of knows everyone. I was always involved with church and sports and all the school plays. And honestly, you name it, I did it. And ever since I left my small town and I went to college, and I built my network there of, college friends and sorority sisters, and I was in choir, all that fun stuff. And honestly, I just kept growing. And I've always been that type of person to keep in contact with everybody. I'm that type of person that if I meet you for the first time and we spend time together, whether it's at a movie or we just happen to have something in common, I feel attached to that person. I'm almost sad to leave them without giving them my number or my Facebook. I just get really connected with people fast. I'm definitely right. Honestly, I feel sad every time I leave people. So, I don't know if it's just maybe we're just extroverted people and we just connect with people so well and easily. But I always just kept in contact with people. And when this business came about and I got to share Plexus with people, it came so naturally just because I didn't feel nervous to reach out to people because I've just been constantly keeping close contact, with old friends. It doesn't even matter how long ago I met you. If I met you at church camp when we were 15 years old, I can guarantee we still talk today. So it's just one of those things. And being from such a small hometown, cold calling it doesn't work for us really. Majority of my team are from my hometown, where everyone kind of knows everyone, and if you don't, people are going to rub off the wrong way on you if you try to reach out to them coldly without talking to them first. I think it's just the way our hometown is, where it's it's just way too pushy, it's way too bold. So basically just building relationships has taken me so much farther. And I think there is a good place for cold calling, but I don't think it's for everybody to use. And maybe it works out for some people, and I think it does for a lot of people. I just think building that relationship is so much better for many other reasons that we'll get to eventually. But that's just my personal experience with relationship marketing and just getting to know people and just really building that relationship before I even bring about Plexus. Honestly, it might be the fourth or fifth contact until Plexus is brought up naturally. And I'm okay with that. Some people get really antsy when it hasn't been brought up yet, or no one has asked about it yet. But to me, that doesn't even matter. I just want to get to know that person, know their backstory. I can think of reasons how Plexus can come into their lives, but I'm not going to push it on them. I just want to get to know that person first. So I feel like it will just go such a long way when we just get to know people.
Right. I love that. No, I love that we have similar approaches. And I understand that some people are more introverted, and, this whole concept is a little bit more challenging. So we have a couple of tips for you guys just on relationship marketing, and specifically, with cold contacts. I do believe that cold contacting is a great way to build momentum. And I say this because a couple of months ago, I did pose a challenge to my team of cold contacting mass amounts of people, and we can post a link below, and Allie will touch on it too. There is one video in particular that we used, and my team actually is doing it again right now. There's a group of some of my business partners that are doing it, and I think that the momentum that it builds is absolutely incredible. Nothing can touch that. And that breaking out of your comfort zone, reaching out to people, that is just priceless. It is so great. It's been so great for my business, of everybody as a whole collectively on my team, breaking out of their comfort zone in that way. I feel like there's a couple different cold contacts that we make. I like to call the ice cold contacts, people who you really don't talk to, that you maybe knew once back in the day, or maybe you just met them at the grocery store, but I mean, it's a cold contact. And there's an ambassador on my team named Tessa Forbes, my sweet friend, who is adorable. And we were actually chatting about this earlier, and I loved what she had to say that she tells her team. And that is to go and Facebook stalk that person for 20 seconds. Take that 20 seconds for those really ice cold contacts, scroll their Facebook and see what you have in common with that person. Find something relatable, see what their life is like. Have they been traveling? Did they just get married? Do they have kids? Really get a feel for that and see something that's been going on recently in their life. That way, when you reach out to them, you have something instantly that you can connect on. A lot of people suggest also, which I love, is opening with a compliment. There's something better than opening a message and the first thing you hear is a compliment, right? So I love that.
The best ever.
Yes, exactly. So find something relatable. And with these ice cold contacts with people who are really, really not part of your life, I see no harm in not bringing up Plexus initially, even if your ultimate reason for reaching out to this person is to bring up Plexus, or you really want this person on your team, or you see their fibromyalgia posts, or whatever it is, and you just really want to help this person, whether it be financially, with health, with both. I think that yes, it may take a little bit longer for them to jump on board, but I really strongly feel that cultivating this relationship is worth it. Having that relationship there and that foundation and that friendship is absolutely worth it. Am I saying to be fake to this person? By no means, no. I know that Allie feels the same. We are not saying that. What we are saying is that this is relationship marketing. And maybe you don't have a friendship with that person yet, but you need to build one if you want them to trust you and you want them to jump on board and really do this thing with you. So yes, it might take a little while, but also while you're cultivating that relationship, that is where the importance of posting on social media consistently comes into play. You may never have to bring that Plexus to that person. Maybe they're going to bring it up to you. Most likely they're going to bring it up to you. Make those posts on Facebook intentional, of course. If you really want this, if this person has a specific medical condition, maybe, posting a testimony that hints around that, of course, without making medical claims. But, make those intentional posts and plant those seeds. You don't have to be, pull that Plexus trigger on them. You don't want to ruin that, and build that relationship and let it happen naturally. And then my second tip is for people who we're going to cold contact, but with people who are already in our warm market, meaning people that are already in your life, people you already know, people who know you, who already know you're in this Plexus thing. Or maybe they don't know you're in this Plexus thing. Maybe, maybe it's your aunt who doesn't have Facebook or whatever it be, but it's somebody who already knows you and they already know your intentions and you already have a relationship. And this is actually one of my favorite topics to touch on because I just love reaching out to people. One thing that I always tell people when I cold contact them, just go, when I just shoot straight to Plexus, is that I'm very vulnerable and I'm very open with them about the fact that this is out of my comfort zone. I don't always do this. There's nothing wrong with telling people that, even sending a voice message on Facebook instead of texting, or jumping on the phone with them and be like, hey, look, usually I wait for people to come to me, but you've really been on my heart and I don't want to ignore that. I tell people that all the time, and it is not a lie. If somebody's on my heart, I don't ignore that. I feel they've been placed on my heart, and I pray over my business. I pray for who to reach out to. And if somebody's laid on my heart, I'm going to reach out to them. I'm not going to ignore it. And I let them know that. So telling them, hey, this may or may not be for you. That's okay. I'm not going to be upset if it's not for you, but you have seriously been on my heart and I don't want to ignore that. If I sent you some more information, would you check it out? Or even if it's specific medical things that I have a friend say suffering from migraines, I go at them very honestly and I'm like, hey, I know you've seen my Plexus post. I love you and I hate that you're suffering from migraines. If it doesn't work for you, just get your money back. Like, by all means, please get your money back. You have 60 days to do it. That doesn't hurt me. I encourage you to get your money back if it doesn't work. But I truly believe in my heart that these products can help you. And that has never gone over badly for me, ever. No, everybody doesn't order right away, but it's never gone over badly for me. Nobody's ever just told me no. Maybe there's some obstacles with finances or them thinking about it, but at least you've brought it to them. And at least now you've planted that seed and that opportunity is there for them. And just always stay their friend first, always. Even if it is that ice cold contact I was talking about, cultivate that relationship first. Stay their friend first, and your Plexus business, and then buying Plexus and everything like that, it naturally follows afterwards.
I just love that. Just so much yes going on right now. Like, I'm just sitting here like nodding my head so much because I just completely agree with everything you said. And honestly, starting the conversation is the hardest part, I think, is just getting yourself out there, being bold, and just making that initial contact. I think some people just get so bottled up inside, and just making that first step forward is just so tough. But how rewarding is it once you just go out there and do it? Like, it's so rewarding. So once you make that initial contact, some people, they have a hard time keeping the conversation going. Sometimes conversations lead to a dead end. Sometimes they just don't know where to go from here. So I have a couple of tips to go along with this, like how to keep the conversation going and going smoothly. So first thing is be constantly in the know with your potential. Just like Jen said, you should always just be stalking your potential. I do not mean this to sound like in a bad way, but you should know if they just added a new family member or a new pet, if they just took a vacation, maybe they just got family pictures done, whatever it is, you should know that this just happened in their life. So you should constantly just be looking at their Facebook page, seeing what's going on, and that leaves you an opportunity to go in and just say, oh my gosh, I love your pictures that you guys just took as a family. Who's the photographer? Always just ask those questions and just go in with a compliment. Compliments are great. Everyone loves to be complimented. You cannot go wrong with that. But just being in the know of what your potential's up to is so important because it makes them feel special. So always end your message with a question. This is so important, and I feel like it gets overlooked all the time. But the more you ask questions, the more they're willing to go back to that conversation and respond to you. Just keep the conversation rolling. Any way you can fit in a question, do it. Even if it sounds like it could be a stupid question or it sounds silly, fitting in that question leaves them wanting to come back to respond to you. My next tip is just to be excited. If you are just talking to someone through Messenger or through the voice chat thing and your voice is just a flat out monotone, do you really think they're going to be excited to want to respond to you or talk to you? Most likely no. What do you bring to the table? Like, what reason would they want to respond to you if you're not really excited to talk to them? You should be using emojis. As funny as that sounds, use those emojis. That's what they're there for. You're supposed to show emotion. You're supposed to show feeling. Use exclamation points. You don't have to use them like over dramatically crazy, but slip a few in here and there, because if you just do sentence after sentence, it's just plain periods and no emojis, nothing, that's really boring to read. So get excited. Enthusiasm is contagious. So when they see that you're excited about something, they're going to be excited in return, or they're going to be even more interested in what you have to say whenever you talk excitedly. And Jen already talked about this a little bit, but voice messages and just being vulnerable. Voice messages are cool. Sometimes they can be a little weird to the receiver because they've maybe never received a voice message before. I have a couple people who are like, oh, that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Like, I didn't know this was even a thing. I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to weird you out. I just love using this new tool to talk to you. So I just kind of swing it around. But voice messages really change how you can interact with your potentials, and they can hear the excitement in your voice, and it just makes things a lot smoother and happier, and it just kind of lifts the conversation up a little bit higher. So those are just kind of my tips of how to keep the conversations rolling. And I'm just going to lead into two of my advantages of relationship marketing. Is that okay, Jen, if I just lead into that? All right, sounds good. So we've been talking about this, but the advantages of relationship marketing is that you get to connect on a more personal level. You get to actually know that person. And I know we've already talked about this, so I'm not going to repeat myself a million times, but when you get to know someone, it makes a world of a difference. They're going to start opening up to you and talking to you about things that maybe they wouldn't talk to anyone else about. You're going to find out things about them that can really benefit them, honestly. They may not know it yet because we haven't really brought up Plexus yet, but in the back of your mind, the gears are going and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like, I know this can help them, or, oh my gosh, they're having financial stress. I know what I can do to help them. So it gets the gears going the more you get to know someone. And my next advantage would be it builds trust. Kelly Garcia, she is a gold ambassador. She just shared an article today, and it blew my mind. It was a psychologist from Harvard did this study about what are like the top two things people think of whenever they meet someone new. And the first question is, can I trust this person? And then the second question is, can I respect this person? So if you think about this, can they trust you? Or are they going to respect you? If you keep that in the back of your mind, that will really help you, get the conversation out there and how to gear the conversation. So like I said, I don't think cold calling is a bad thing ever. But if you think about it this way, if you're just blatantly putting Plexus out there and just being bold, straight up, not really building a relationship, what is this person going to think? Do you think they're going to trust you? Do you think they're going to respect you right away? They're probably going to think, first of all, here we go, another salesperson coming at me again with their crazy opportunity. And they're going to think, why should I talk to this person if they're not trying to get to know me? How can I trust this person whenever I don't know anything about them either? So you just have to think, are they going to trust you, or are they going to respect you? So this really changed my mindset just today, even when I was reaching out to my contacts, my potentials, because I want my people to trust me and respect me as a person. And so that's just two ways that relationship marketing has this advantage over cold messaging people. So do you want to?
No, I love those. And it actually ties a lot into, I just did a Zoom that was posted yesterday and today with Diamond Ambassador Emily Roberts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Relationship Marketing 101. They're on YouTube, and it's a training by Susie McCall, who's a Diamond Ambassador, and her husband, Chris McCall. They're a Plexus couple, and she talks about relationships, and this just ties in beautifully with that training. So I highly recommend watching those side by side. It's such a pivotal role. And I do want to stress that I think that cold contacting can be a good thing. I know that Allie just said that too. Cold contacting can really be a good thing, but I think that specifically with Plexus, just specifically with this company, it is just so important that we keep the relationship first. I know that some network marketing companies, maybe you don't have to do that, but this you really do. You really, really do. And if you have gone and you've cold contacted people with, hey, bam, I have this opportunity for you, don't feel like we're telling you did something wrong. This is just from our experience, what we've learned and what we see as help. So thank you so much for agreeing to do this call with me, Allie. I think this can really help our teams, and you are the best. I can't wait to see you in June, and I'm just excited about this whole thing.
I am too. Thank you so much for having me on with you. This is all so great, and I can't wait to share with our teams and see what comes from it. So yeah, I can't wait to see you in June too. Big hugs coming your way.
Seriously. All right. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, everyone.